Just a couple months ago, I got really into reading again. From April to the end of the year, I've read over 20 books, which to some isn't a lot, but I've never read that much ever in a year. I'm also an artist and I've been wanting to start something like this for quite a while, so I thought, might as well just start. I have many books on the list, books like ACOTAR, Caravel, and a novel love story to name a few. I love fantasy and mystery, so if you have any book recommendations, please comment below. For this first video though, I'm exploring Laurie Gilmore's Dream Harbour series. This will be a part 1 to the video because there's only 3 out of the 5 books that have been released. So there definitely will be a part 2 to this video. The Pumpkin Spice Cafe is the first book in this series. We follow the story of Janie, a woman who recently took over her aunt's beloved cafe, and Logan, the local farm boy who recently got his heart broken. The way that Laurie Gilmore writes her novels is a form I'm not used to reading, being an interchanging of third-person perspectives from both main characters. Now typically, I don't usually like this form of writing, but I just couldn't put these books down. I love how instant you get to see their attraction to each other, the wanting each other, being shoved away by fear and uncertainty. The mystery plot was also unexpected and very interesting. I definitely was trying to keep guessing who it could have been, like maybe the book club, because they were always getting into their business. I was having a harder time trying to decide how I interpreted Janie. I, of course, went to Pinterest. Who does it when they're trying to find inspiration? But when you search up pumpkin spice latte, there's a bunch of different ideas, and I couldn't decide whether she would, like, how she would dress. So I went through a little bit of a struggle going back and forth between a couple of designs and ended up loving this final design of her with the oversized sweater and the longer skirt, the darker tights with the heels, because I remember at some point them mentioning that Janie was wearing heels, and very like loose but elegant and cute. And then for Logan, he's a little bit more, he's work, so he's very practical, very put together. It's very Hallmark-esque with all the men in these series wearing somewhat of plaid. I just kept doing that throughout. I think it's the last one in this video doesn't have plaid, which was quite surprising. I was very tempted to doing it. Overall, this series is quite simple, so I kind of wanted to match that with the vibe in the best way possible. For the colors of these characters, I wanted something that ties them towards the book covers, so lots of reds and oranges, yellows, very neutral fall tones. I thought it would be a fun thing with each of these to have them connecting somewhat to the color palette of the covers. Overall, I think I rated this book 4.5 out of 5. I'm really easy to enjoy a book, so you'll probably be seeing 4 to 5 rated stars quite often. I read this one back in October, so it definitely helped me get into that fall vibe. Now, one thing I forgot to mention about these books is that they are spicy, and I would say Pumpkin Spice is at a 3.5 out of 4 spice for me, but Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, on the other hand, was very close to a 5. I don't normally mind spicy scenes, but in this book, I definitely felt like I was sitting in the corner kind of watching when I should not have been. I think it was just a little too much for myself. But other than that, this book was so adorable. I loved their relationship. The book follows Noah and Hazel as they go on adventures to live out the last few months of Hazel's 20s. Her introverted personality with his outgoing attitude led to so many cute moments. Honestly, it just overall was just so fun and so summery. My favorite scene was the carnival. If you've read it, you know it's very cute. I'll say though, as I'm coming up with the design of these characters, I think I had the most struggle with them. I just couldn't decide how to do it because it's set in summer. I wanted her to be very, very comfortable being in her bookstore all the time. But with Noah being a fisherman, he's very like summery, so I thought shorts or jeans. I couldn't tell what was working, so I did definitely struggle with this one a lot more. But overall, I'm really happy with the design. I think it really shows their personalities quite well. One of my favorite quotes from this book was, "He was summer and she was fall. He was adventurous and she was comfortable. But right now, on the cusp between the two seasons, in the liminal space they'd carved out for themselves, they just fit right." Which is literally all you need to say about this book. And the ending just made my heart, I just wanted to cry. It was so cute. Similar to the pumpkin spice color palette, I wanted to stick to the color palette of the cover. I went through a couple iterations, which was really difficult coming up with and trying to decide which one looked the best, along with trying to figure out if I liked how the character's design looked. I think I got pretty good colors. I think they fit them really nicely. That whole summer and fall theme and the two coming together. Although I really enjoyed this one, I definitely think it's my least favorite out of the three so far. There wasn't too much, like, it was very cute, but I just loved the romance from the other two, and this one was fun, and like I said, the spice scenes were a little too much for me, but I did really enjoy this book. Now, the last book that is out right now is The Christmas Tree Farm, and like the other two, it is just as cozy, but with the spirit of Christmas. Just like Jeannie, Kira moves to Dream Harbour looking for a fresh start, which just so happens to be buying a Christmas tree farm with no plans of continuing that job. And then there's Bennett, who is Janie's younger brother, who is currently visiting for the holidays, who has found himself tasked with going and kind of snooping around her farmland by the community because they heard a rumor from the previous owner that there was possibly treasure on the land. Kira is understandably suspicious of Bennett when they first meet, which, fair, she's in the middle of nowhere and he just comes up with his 3 dogs. While I was drawing this, I was contemplating drawing the dogs, but I'm not the best at drawing animals, so maybe down the future I'll get better at it. We follow these two as Kira tries to learn how to run a business, and Ben is trying to figure out what this mystery is while trying to keep it a secret as long as he can so that he doesn't scare Kira away. One thing I really enjoy about these 3 books is that they all have a mysterious subplot, which really adds in as a filler as these 2 main characters fall in love. While I was imagining them, I of course was imagining them as like very warm with lots of layers. So for Bennett, since he's kind of used to the weather, I had him with a little bit less layers than Kira would have had. So Ben has the hoodie, puffer vest. He gave me very like the cold doesn't bother me kind of vibe. For Kira's kind of style, I drew it as if she wasn't sure how to dress to be warm in the cold. A lighter jacket with a sweater underneath. She has boots and a hat, yet it's not warm enough for the cold, which I thought fit her vibe. In total, I think this book was about a 3.5 to a 4 for spice, and about a 4.5 for me with enjoyment. Also, what is it with these men in this town and their romantic gestures? They're just all so cute. I was reading this book around the time of Christmas, so it definitely helped with that festive mood. This was the first time I've ever read a Christmas book during Christmas, so it was definitely fun, and I'm gonna try to do it again next year. And there you go. There's how I imagine these 3 duos throughout the series. Now, of course, they're not going to be how possibly the author imagined them. They're my interpretation, but that's all right. And also, let me know how the video is. I still have lots to learn. This is the first one I'm doing, so feedback is very welcomed. If you want to see these drawings entirely, you can head over to my Instagram, plumeria._art. I'm always posting there. Also, if you have any book recommendations, I'd love to see them or hear them. I'm always open to new types of books. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I really appreciate it. Any support is extremely appreciated, so I hope to see you again very soon. I better head out. See you later.